DC Hammer.
He works.
Mike Slocum works.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me right now.
Tonight, breaking news as we come on the air. Just a short time ago, President Trump offering a deal for the Dreamers, a path to citizenship for 1.8 million. What the White House is demanding in return. Also tonight, President Trump in Davos, reporters shouting questions, but back home, will he answer questions from Robert Mueller? He says he will under oath. You'll hear the audio tonight, his interaction with reporters here at home. But tonight, what his lawyer is now saying about that. The developing headline, what went wrong? The father taken captive during a home invasion, then shot and killed as FBI agents were raiding the home. The deadly high school shooting, and now we learn about the daughter who was killed and the phone call she made during the chaos right before. The urgent manhunt underway right now in the killing of a sheriff's deputy. The bank robbery, the hostage situation unfolding at this hour. And your money tonight, your credit card, and those points you earn. How to make them go even further. What we did not know.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a very busy Thursday night. And we begin with that surprising offer late today from President Trump when it comes to the Dreamers, a pathway to citizenship for nearly 2 million undocumented immigrants who were brought to this country as children. The president, the center of attention today in Davos, embracing many of the world leaders he has exchanged words with before. But late today, it was his team at the White House making that proposal public. But what the president now wants in return. And the White House tonight acknowledging they're not sure this will all pass Congress. ABC senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega leading us off.
Tonight, the White House handing those dreamers whose fate hangs in the balance a possible lifeline. President Trump's new immigration plan, unveiled to reporters late today, offers a path to citizenship to 1.8 million young people brought to this country illegally as children. That's more than double the number of people currently protected by DACA. It was exactly 1 year ago tonight David asked the president if he would protect the dreamers.
And is there anything you can say to assure them right now that they'll be allowed to stay?
They shouldn't be very worried. They are here illegally. They shouldn't be very worried. I do have a big heart.
Since then, he has hedged on their fate. Just yesterday, he said this.
If there's no agreement by March 5th, are you going to protect them? Are you going to extend the deadline?
Yeah, I might do that. I might do that. I'm not guaranteeing it.
Offering citizenship to nearly 2 million undocumented dreamers is a major concession for an administration towing such a hard line on immigration.
On day one, we will begin working on an impenetrable, physical, tall, powerful, beautiful southern border wall.
It's a real wall. This is a wall that's a heck of a lot higher than the ceiling you're looking at.
In exchange, the White House wants tough new immigration restrictions, like $25 billion for his border wall and beefed up border security, and major cuts to legal immigration. Families would only be allowed to sponsor spouses and minor children for citizenship. Parents and siblings would no longer be allowed. And he wants to end the visa lottery program. The proposal sure to be met with strong pushback from both parties. Just 2 weeks ago, the negotiations and the confusion unfolding on camera.
What about a clean DACA bill now, and with a commitment that we go into a comprehensive immigration reform procedure?
I have no problem. I think that's basically what Dick is saying. We're going to come out with DACA. We're going to do DACA, and then we can start immediately on the phase 2, which would be comprehensive.
Would you be agreeable to that?
Yeah, I would like to do that.
Mr. President, you need to be clear, though. I think what Senator Feinstein's asking here, when we talk about just DACA, we don't want to be back here 2 years later. You have to have security, as the Secretary would tell you.
But I think that's what she's saying.
The White House set to present its proposal to the Senate on Monday, hoping Congress can reach a deal and avoid another government shutdown.
So let's get to Cecilia live at the White House tonight. Cecilia, we do remember asking the president about the Dreamers 1 year ago this week, and you've been reporting that members of the president's own party have been critical of the president when it comes to the Dreamers, saying they don't really know where he stands on immigration. Now they've heard this proposal late today. What are you hearing from your sources tonight?
Well, David, leaders like Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan say they are very happy the president is spelling out what he wants on DACA, but not everyone seems thrilled at this hour. Others in the party reportedly saying this is the end of the GOP majority in the House. And as for Democrats, well, David, here's just a quick sample. This plan, quote, doesn't pass the laugh test.
All right, we'll see on this one. Cecilia Vega leading us off tonight. The other major development at this hour, will the president be interviewed himself by the special counsel Robert Mueller? Overnight, he said he would, and under oath. The president made the comments during an impromptu meeting with reporters before leaving the White House. It was our John Carl who asked the question. But tonight, his lawyer now says something very different. Here's John.
Against the sweeping backdrop of the Swiss Alps, Marine One brought President Trump to the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
This will be a very exciting 2 days. Thank you very much.
The president rubbing elbows with a collection of the globalist power elite he often vilified as a candidate. But today, he sure doesn't seem worried about fitting in.
Are you going to be received well?
I already am. Look, you take a look. You tell me.
But back at home, the president's lawyers are managing the fallout from his surprise visit with a group of White House reporters.
Hello, everybody. Nice to see you all.
We asked the president the big question. Will he sit down with special counsel Robert Mueller?
Are you going to talk to Mueller?
I'm looking forward to it, actually. But I would love to do that. I'd like to do it as soon as possible.
He's not just willing to be interviewed, but under oath, too.
Oh, I would do it under oath.
You would, yeah.
Absolutely.
All that caught his own lawyers by surprise. One of them telling ABC News the president was speaking, quote, hurriedly. And tonight, another Trump attorney, John Dowd, tells us that he, not the president, will be the one to decide if Mueller gets an interview. And speaking to reporters, the president made one thing clear. He may be eager to talk to Mueller, but he still has concerns about the special counsel.
Do you think Robert Mueller will be fair to you in this larger investigation?
We're going to find out.
Are you concerned about it?
Because here's what we'll say, and everybody says, no collusion. There's no collusion. Now they're saying, oh, well, did he fight back?
Yeah.
He fight back. Oh, it's obstruction. So here's the thing. I hope so.
Before the president left the room of reporters, he once again brought it back to his election victory, saying he defeated Hillary Clinton not because of the Russians, but because he was such a great candidate.
The fact is, you people won't say this, but I'll say it. I was a much better candidate than her. You always say she was a bad candidate. You never say I was a good candidate. I was one of the greatest candidates.
All right, the election more than a year ago now. John Carl live at the White House tonight as well. John, the president saying one thing, telling you last night that he's, quote, looking forward to speaking with Robert Mueller. But tonight the president's own lawyer says not so fast, that he'll be the one to decide whether the president actually sits down with the special counsel.
And I'm not so sure, David, how that will go over with the president. He tends to be the one who likes to make the decisions around here, and he told us that he thinks the interview with Mueller could happen within the next 2 or 3 weeks. But we do know that the president's legal team has been pushing for a written Q&A instead of an in-person interview, and also what the details would be if an in-person interview is to happen.
All right, so those negotiations continue. John, thank you. And one more headline from the White House tonight. First Lady Melania Trump deciding not to travel with the president to Davos, instead visiting the Holocaust Memorial Museum in Washington today. The First Lady then making an unannounced trip to Florida, her plane arriving at the airport in West Palm Beach. The White House not commenting on her trip. To other news tonight, the developing story in Houston at this hour, the father who was taken captive during a home invasion, then shot and killed as FBI agents were raiding the home. ABC's Marcus Moore from Texas tonight.
Tonight, the FBI investigating what went wrong in the raid that left a kidnapped father dead.
It sounded like an explosion, and that was like about 3, 4 o'clock this morning.
Agents storming a house after tracking the suspects down.
Requested EMS at the location.
The FBI admitting at least one of their agents fired a weapon in the ensuing chaos, but it's unclear if those shots killed the victim.
A shooting incident review team will also look into the matter, as is protocol with any agent-involved shooting.
The case started with a home invasion on Wednesday in the suburb of Conroe, where a 12-year-old boy and his father were each bound with duct tape in a home.
They left the child bound and took the father with them, telling the child not to call the police.
The child freeing himself, alerting the police. Conroe police and the FBI working in tandem to locate the kidnapped father before that fatal shooting.
The system failed, whether it was accidental or not. I mean, the man's not going home to his family.
David, tonight the 3 kidnapping suspects are in custody, and the agent who officials say may have killed the victim is on administrative leave as the investigation unfolds. David.
Marcus Moore tonight. Marcus, thank you. Next this evening, new developments in the deadly high school shooting in Kentucky. The 15-year-old suspect in court, the motive unknown. And tonight, we are now learning one of the victims called her mother as she was dying. Here's ABC's Steve Osunsami again tonight.
The mother of 15-year-old Bailey Holt, one of 2 students killed at this Kentucky high school, was inside the accused shooter's juvenile court hearing today.
There's just no words to describe.
She says her daughter called home Tuesday as she was dying on the floor.
And all I could hear was voices and chaos in the background. And she couldn't say anything. And I tried to call her name over and over and over, and she never responded.
Some students who know the 15-year-old in police custody tonight believe he was bullied at school.
No, so I want to pray for them all too, because I know he's probably having a hard time too, but
He still took our baby.
he still took my baby from me.
Prosecutors aren't yet ready to confirm if this is him, seen led away in handcuffs after the shooting in a common area at the school. But they do tell us at the courthouse here that this accused teenager will be identified in the next few weeks because state law requires, in this particular case, that he be moved to adult court. David?
Steve Osunsanmi, thanks to you again tonight. We turn now to the urgent manhunt underway outside Denver tonight. 2 suspects considered armed and dangerous, wanted in connection with the killing of Deputy Heath Gum. He was shot responding to an assault. Police say a 3rd suspect who allegedly pulled the trigger is in custody tonight. There's also news this evening about those missing FBI text messages. The Department of Justice today announcing it has now recovered many of the personal messages between 2 FBI staffers, one of whom worked on Robert Mueller's team before being asked to leave. And what about that reference to a secret society? Here's ABC senior justice correspondent Pierre Thomas now.
President Trump and his Republican allies made it out to be a scandal. The idea that the FBI lost months of personal text messages between an FBI agent who served on the special counsel's team and an FBI lawyer.
If you take a look at, the 5 months worth of missing texts, that's a lot of missing texts. And as I said yesterday, that's prime time. So you do sort of look at that and say, what's going on?
The FBI says the texts were lost through a technical glitch that affected thousands of Bureau devices. The president compared it to Watergate. But tonight, the Justice Department reveals that many of those missing texts have now been recovered. In some of the personal messages that were previously released, FBI agent Peter Strzok and lawyer Lisa Page, seen here in an alumni picture, discussed the presidential campaign, both expressing disdain for Donald Trump. Page writing, "God, Trump is a loathsome human." Strzok responds, "Yet he may win. America will get what the voting public deserves." The text fueling Republican claims that the FBI is biased against Trump, even though some of the messages also trash liberals. Page writing at one point, "I just saw my first Bernie Sanders bumper sticker. Made me want to key the car." Robert Mueller removed Strzok from his team last summer after learning of the text messages. But some Republicans say that the texts point to a so-called anti-Trump conspiracy within the FBI. This week, GOP Senator Ron Johnson focusing on one text message referencing a secret society.
And that secret society, we have an informant that's talking about a group that were holding secret meetings off-site. There's so much smoke here. There's so much suspicion.
Let's stop there. A secret society, secret meetings off-site of the Justice Department.
Correct.
But then ABC News and others obtained the actual text. Page writing, "Are you even going to give out your calendars?" Seems kind of depressing. Maybe it should just be the first meeting of the secret society. Its meaning wholly unclear, and sources speculating that the secret society reference was meant in jest, a joke, something even Senator Johnson today seemed willing to consider.
Do you agree that it appears to be it was in jest?
It's a real possibility.
Okay, Pierre Thomas with us live from Washington tonight. And Pierre, you heard Senator Johnson right there acknowledging it is a real possibility now that this text about a secret society was a joke. But Senator Johnson also claimed to have an informant who said a group of FBI employees was holding secret meetings. And tonight, one top Democrat is demanding proof now of these meetings.
David, Senator Johnson is the chair of the Homeland Security Committee, and tonight the committee's top Democrat, Claire McCaskill, is demanding, quote, hard evidence about that informant and any other allegations, essentially calling him out. So far, Senator Johnson has not offered any more specifics, David.
All right, and you'll stay on it, Pierre. Thank you. Next tonight to the widening fallout from the USA Gymnastics sex abuse scandal. Less than 24 hours now after former team doctor Larry Nassar was sentenced to up to 175 years in prison. Tonight, there are growing calls for a congressional investigation. More than 150 women and girls telling their stories of abuse in that courtroom. Michigan State University President Luana